Check it out. T-square sword. Okay, I'm a 30-year-old man. When we think about comics, we usually think about superheroes drawn by fantastic artists with years and years of experience. And because of those initial thoughts, and I know I felt this way at some point, we probably believed that we had to be that good at drawing before we could ever start writing or drawing our comic. However, what if I told you that you did not have to be good at drawing in order to start your comic? What do I mean by good? I mean good as in like traditionally appealing or accurate. So accurate anatomy or proportions, clean line art, beautiful brush strokes, or strong form. But you really don't need any of these things. And if you don't believe me, I want to talk to you about a comic artist, more specifically a manga artist that never waited until he was good enough to start making his own comic. And his comic became massively successful despite the quality, I'm doing these air quotes a lot, sorry, forgive me, regardless of the quality of his art. His name is One, and if you don't know anything about manga or anime, he is the creator of the hit anime One Punch Man and Mob Psycho 100. Now, I want to start off this story at his humble beginnings because that's kind of where the lesson stems from. But One did not start off being published in Shonen Jump. He didn't start getting published by some other big publisher. He just did it himself. Now, there's not a ton of stuff about One. He's kind of like a person that kind of likes to keep to himself, but I'm sure you can find a ton of essays or One Punch Man wiki to get more details on this story because I only want to focus on one thing. Like I said before, One was not a very good artist, at least in the traditional sense. He started out just like this. This is the original comic of One Punch Man. Yeah. That One Punch Man, the One Punch Man that is super popular nowadays. And if you don't know what One Punch Man is about, it's about a superhero that can defeat enemies with just one punch because of how strong he is. Now getting back to One didn't care that he wasn't the best artist to start his own comic. He started where he was at that very moment. And even though he wasn't the best, and I'm sure he knew he wasn't, I'm sure he wrestled with doubt, but even amongst all those things, he believed in his story and he was committed to telling that story. So once he drew his first issue, he posted it online, and he probably didn't think that anything would ever come of it. I think he posted it to one of those web comic websites like Webtoon. It wasn't Webtoon, but I think there was like a Japanese version that he posted it to. And he didn't just stop at one issue or 5 or 10. He produced over 100 issues of One Punch Man. And because of his consistency, it gained a following and popularity on the website for its humor and its very fun storytelling. Now, this story is actually pretty long, but if you bear with me, I'm just gonna cut it down to a few more sentences and then we'll get back on track. To make a long story short, the popularity of One Punch Man caught the eyes of a very popular manga artist named Yusuke Murata. And Murata reached out to One and offered to redraw his entire series. And that series is what we see on the bookshelves today. This story specifically is lightning in a bottle. The point of this video isn't to tell you that, oh, if you start right now, you too are going to create $1 million character and story. Even though that can happen, I don't want to be a downer. It totally could happen. But I want you to focus on one thing. Look at his art. Throughout the chapters, it gets significantly better. You can see it clearly in the later chapters of One Punch Man, and you can even see more of his progression when he starts his second series, Mob Psycho 100. There's more volume, more indication of light and shadow. There's textures, there's more intentional line art. He got so much better over time. And this right here will be the same outcome if you put those negative thoughts aside and start your comic where you're at today. And I'm sure you've heard this so many times before, but getting better at art is just like exercising. You repeat an exercise over and over and over again until that muscle gets better. And this is what happens when you make comics. You guys know what comic books are. They're multiple drawings on one single page, and there's multiple pages to one book. And just like those repeated gym exercises, you're exercising your drawing muscles by repeating that same drawing over and over, by repeating seeing that same character over and over, even though you will get better by consistently drawing over and over and over again. I don't recommend that you solely rely on just drawing your comic book in order to get better at art. Picking up an anatomy book, watching an art tutorial on YouTube or online, taking some drawing classes all here and there, and all of these things working together will aid you in becoming the comic artist that you want to be. We have nowhere to go but up. And I'm not trying to talk to you like I have everything figured out. I consider myself fairly average in my drawing skills. There's definitely a lot of things that I could improve on, but I know that if I keep drawing and keep committing to my comic, it's just going to get better. I know I'm not going to see it now, but down the line, if I continue making comics, I'm going to be able to see that progression. Now you may be thinking, well, the online success of One Punch Man is because of his writing. It's not just the art by itself, right? And yes, that's true. But whenever you're creating your comic, don't focus on getting that lightning in a bottle. You're going to set up false expectations for yourself. I'm drawing this comic right now. I'm drawing Cosmic Casuals, and every single day, and I'm not trying to be like a downer on myself. Every single day I have to remind myself that people probably are not going to buy this. You know, and plans may change, but I'm probably going to print 100 copies. And even then, I don't think 50 people will actually buy it. Keep that low expectation in mind. Don't have such high goals that are almost attainable where you're at. Just take things a step at a time. I don't know where I was going with that actually. We were talking about writing. I saw this YouTube Shorts, which is kind of strange because YouTube Shorts is actually very terrible. Never get exactly what I want to see on there. But I got a YouTube short of a college professor or some college-like setting. And he said that your job as the writer is to just write and get the bad stuff out of the way. You may hit the lightning in the bottle the very first round like Harry Potter, but your job is to just continue writing and not worry about it. And that's the same advice that I want to carry to you guys. As comic artists, usually we're doing everything ourselves. We're designing the book, we're drawing the book obviously, and we're also writing the book. So whenever you're making a comic, don't think about making the next big thing. Just focus on getting those miles in. Focus on getting better at drawing. Focus on telling a story. Focusing on finishing a project. And I'm not saying this like this is easy. I know for a fact that this is difficult because I'm doing it right now. I am on page like 40 of this comic and I am so tired. I'm so ready to move on to the next story. Now, a lot of that stuff is my own faults. You know, you guys have followed me on this journey, but I'm ready to move on to the next one, but I'm committed to just finishing it. I don't expect lightning in a bottle. I don't expect the next big thing. I don't even expect people to buy this, but I just want to complete it. So all of this kind of comes from one of my last YouTube videos about making comics and the one that kind of blew up in a little way. But there were a lot of comments on there being like, oh, I don't know if I can start, I need to get better. But you don't need to get better at art. Just make the comic. Just make it. Make it and you will get better if you're committed to drawing. It happens. It happens naturally. I've seen it. Don't expect a quick evolution of your drawing skills, but start your comic, start your story. Don't wait for anybody to give you the green light. Not even yourself. Don't even give yourself the green light. Start your comic today.